They are one of the most exciting sides in rugby league. Much falls on the shoulders of the club's longest serving.
Attacking as we watch from left to right in this first half. This now is McMenemy and a great offload, but it went behind King. It is picked up then by Sean Briscoe, the Hull fullback. Try in the last two matches for Sean Briscoe. And this is Thackeray again. He bounces away from Anderson. Cunningham gets to him though.
Good work as well by Thackeray. He's looking for the ball at all occasions. It's a really fast start as well, and that's a great kick. Beat the winger at any time. Look at the chase here. Bang!
That's a terrific chase. It was led by Ewan Dowes. And St Helens with first use of the football now in this game. How will the nerves hold? Sculthorpe plays the ball to Cunningham. Fossard drives it forward. Great tackling from Hull. Nervous moments early for Dave Rotherham.
Oh, they're really putting out the big guns, and already they're having a go at each other. Nick Fossard was looking for the man that went to him, but here is the key man tonight for the Saints, Kieran Cunningham.
They're up to halfway, St Helens. Jamie Lyon, the dummy half. Sculthorpe spins it wide to Long, and on through the hands it goes to Wellens. Good kick from him downfield under pressure. And Briscoe collects the ball deep in his own territory, will set off on a run, the former Wigan fullback. And the St Helens Sherman, Eamon McManus, he is here tonight. He said in the radio interview earlier today he would be here. He said he wanted the St Helens fans to turn up with him, and they have come in a few numbers as well. But he is a man under pressure, the St Helens Sherman. He will probably say not so. Good ball wide. Great dash down the line here from Saxton. Saxton dobs the ball forward and it's gobbled up.
Just panicked at the vital time. Good work though, wasn't it? They caught Gardner out on that wing. They missed the man out. The centre Gardner was short. Just panicked slightly. Would have been better perhaps to put it high over towards the sticks. All the recovering Saints players, they can't get to it if the ball is in the air. Put it on the ground, they've always got a chance.
Terrific tackling here from Hull. That's the fourth tackle. They've only made 13 metres. It's with Long. It goes wide then to Darren Albert. And Albert trying to go in between Yeaman and Stephen Kearney. The ball now is back to Long, who will kick it deep. Right down the middle of the field.
What a kick. Well, if there's anything that can lift a side, it's a kick like that from Sean Long. That'll lift their spirits. They were really under the cosh. The way that Hull started.
Blacklock gets to his feet. He plays the ball here. And Gareth Rayner will scamper away.
Eddie, you just get the feeling that something big is going to happen tonight. The pace, the atmosphere. Listen to the crowd here. They're baying for blood, and I think they might get it.
Jamie Thackeray just inside his own half of the field. Paul King was the dummy half. Richard Horne was the kicker. And the ball bounces a little unkindly. It scuffs in front of Aidy Gardner, and the chase is good again from Hull.
Looked high there from McMenemy. Official Carl Kirkpatrick said it was okay.
Here they come forward again with Paul Wellens.
How good a fullback is this fella? Always has the ability, you know, every time they kick to him, I don't think I've seen the first man go for him actually make the tackle. So evasive.
Sculthorpe plays the ball. It's with Cunningham. This now is Anderson, who will get St Helens over the halfway line. 4 minutes gone of the match. 0-0. St Helens just in Hull territory. It's with Long, and Long gets it infield to John Wilkin, formerly, of course, from the other side of the city at Hull Kingston Rovers. This is Long again, a crossfield kick. Good kick as well. It hits the deck, and Briscoe has to collect, and that's a wonderful chase from Jamie Lyon. It's a goal line dropout for Hull.
Beautiful crossfield kick from Sean Long. Kicking from both sides. Absolutely immaculate.
Eddie, what a start to the game. 4.5 minutes continuous play. It wasn't a stoppage at all, and it really went well there. Look at the patience St Helens had there. They were under pressure, but then they kicked and worked, and eventually they've had the reward. First break to Saints.
John Keir looking a little concerned about this goal line dropout, because the second set of 6 for St Helens can be so important. as Long feeds the ball to Nick Fossard. He will drive it in. There is no lack of enthusiasm on either side here tonight, if the opening 5 minutes can be believed.
That is for sure, Eddie. And once they realise and stop bashing themselves up against a brick wall, the first side to start really put on a good move, maybe the dummy runner, run on the angle. We've just seen that from Anderson. They could come up trumps.
They're 11 metres away from the line, St Helens. They've got 3 tackles left, this set of 6. It's with Sculthorpe who hands it on to Long. And Long dancing ahead of the line. Good ball wide. And Gilmore, well, he was tackled immediately by Blacklock. Here they come again in the shape of Jason Hooper. That's the last tackle for St Helens. And the ball is fed to Wellens, who loses it, goes backwards, not called by Cunningham. That will be the turnover. Let's have a first word after 6 minutes from Paul Cullen, the coach of Warrington.
Saints very nearly did then what they do an awful lot of times, soaked up some early pressure under the cosh from a fantastic start from Hull FC, where their kicking game was a little bit more sharper and they were beating the man, winning the collision and putting Saints on the back foot. They responded by going full length of the field, and a beautiful kick from Sean Long being fielded in goal. And Saints just grinding away now. They've had a couple of shots on the chin from Hull FC in the opening minutes, and they're on the feet, giving a few back.
It's Hull in possession. They're midway inside their own half here. And St Helens 4 minutes inside the opposition half already. Let's go to the press benches. Dave Hadfield and his colleagues tonight will have the say on who will be man of the match.
We'll be looking at this whole front row with particular interest tonight. Paul King, he's been in great form since he came back from his knee reconstruction, and he's been asked tonight to play hooker, a role he's not held for a long time. Alongside him, Jamie Thackeray, he's been in great form this season, and he's shown some of that already. One of the last things I heard Ian Millwood say as St Helens coach, he thought Nick Fossard should have won man of the match, at least one this season. So we'll see how he goes. More broadly, everybody's going to be looking to see how St Helens react. A night for strong leadership from the likes of Long, Cunningham, Sculthorpe, of course.
And Darren Albert, who is in possession of the football now, tackled by Paul King. Here is Fossard. Another strong run, but they're meeting him head to head at the moment, and that was Kearney with the tackle. Reverse pass from Cunningham finds Sculthorpe.
First real time that we've seen Sculthorpe coming to the attacking line. Interesting to see how that Dave Rotherham, the standing coach, is having them running the angles, which creating all sorts of problems. Blacklock had nothing to do with that, and yet again a good kick from Sean Long.
Yes, nice dab over the top from Long. I asked Dave Rotherham yesterday how it would pan out for him and for his team. He said, well, nothing will change. If it ain't broke, we won't be fixing it. It's going so well at the moment for St Helens in terms of form on the field.
Yeah, it is, and as I mentioned before the kick-off, Eddie, is that Hull realise they're 5 points adrift of Saints now. They're still in third position, but they can't really afford to lose tonight. A 7-point gap throughout the season is pretty hard to drag back, and we know how important it is to finish first and second when it comes to the playoffs.
Absolutely. Kearney, this is a great run. It was also good tackling from Wellens low down, and he was helped out there by Jamie Lyon. Now then, Thackeray driving forward. Jamie Thackeray, arguably the success story of 2005 so far in the Super League and in the Great Britain squad. Good hands from Hull here on show, and again. And young Whiting is hauled to the ground.
Great defence there from Eddie Gardner. Just shows you how the compressed sliding defence came into effect there.
Kicked down the line from Richard Horn, looking to exploit the speed of Blacklock.
This is like a grand final. John Keir realises it as well. We've seen running the angle, little chips over the top. Normally within the first 10 minutes, you'll find about 4 or 5 awful kicks. We haven't had one bad one.
The scrum forms, Dave Rotherham watches. I know one of the most interested viewers at home tonight will be the former St Helens coach Ian Millwood. Phil Clark, what do you think is going through his mind right now?
Probably a lot of frustration, really, not being able to do what he loves to do, which is being here with his side. But that's a fact of life now, and he'll have to move on and cope with life without St Helens. His team, well, they've not made a bad start of it. I've been particularly watching Paul King, who's playing for Hull. He's probably the 4th choice player that they choose to be behind the play of the ball in that vital role. They call it dummy half. It's passing the ball onto the players who come onto it. You know, it's a skill that's very often underestimated in rugby league, but he's done it very well for a player who hasn't done it too often. Cunningham's there doing it for Saints. Watch King, typically doesn't play in that role, but doing it well in the opening 10 minutes.
He has played there before in his career though at hooker, but St Helens looking busy here. Long's pass gets away to Hooper, and Long then takes the return. And he's quick on his feet is Long, and he looks in the mood, and he finds Fozzard, but he doesn't go any further than King or Thackeray as he plays the ball quickly though to Cunningham. Good run forward from Cunningham, as you would expect. All wrapped up though by Thackeray and King again, getting through a lot of work, those two, early in the piece.
The thing you've got to admire from both outfits is the way that they've come back.
On the break.
Oh, he's made the outbreak.
A little up. Oh, the pass was awful.
It's a shocker. It was forward, no chance for anybody to get to it. Well, the man of the experience is Sean Long, has made a real meal of this. Normally he keeps cool.
Hull breathed a sigh of relief collectively. Sean Long was on his way then, and he had support with him, but the pass was forward, and Richard Horne somehow hangs on. Wilkin all over the top of Horne. This now is Stephen Kearney, one of the legendary New Zealand international forwards, 44 caps for his country, starting to make an impression at Hull. Thackeray, drops the ball. It was a little high from Anderson, but
well, it certainly looked that way.
The referee saw it another version. Oh, it's on the shoulder first.
Yeah, went for the grab. Thackeray couldn't get it. I must say he's impressed me. Jamie Thackeray, the way already in 11 and a half minutes. He's been looking for the football, gets through a lot of work, not only in attack but also defence.
Yeah, put it on your court, yeah? Offside, sir. Yeah, mate. Captain!
And it looks like there's something gone on here.
Well, has someone beaten someone?
The Saints' Jason Hooper has complained about something.
Well, he pointed to his fingers as though the only thing I can think of is maybe is that someone's had a little bit of a bite.
We've got an allegation of biting here by one of your players. We're going to put that incident on report, okay? That's a look at later. Shane McMenemy.
Well, Shane McMenemy is the man that has been named there by the referee. So they will now have a look at that later in the week, and I can tell you that our operators downstairs are busy looking for the incident as well. The incident on report anyway.
Well, that's amazing that the official actually has named him. I think he's perhaps forgotten that he was still on mind.
This now is Cunningham. Here is Anderson.
They're getting very confident, Saints.
Yes, they're looking dangerous. And Long's at the heart of it. The kick, though, bounces a little, well, I was going to say unkindly. It was all right in the end. It went backwards. And Richard Whiting has the possession for Hull, and he offloads brilliantly to Briscoe. And Anderson gets the tackle in.
Not the best kick. That's the first bad one we've seen from Sean Long. Still trapped there. Here's the man again.
Thackeray celebrating. Oh, and he's got a penalty. He is celebrating, by the way, Jamie Thackeray, a new 2-year deal at Hull that he signed only yesterday.
He's a workhorse. Look at that. Upper body strength. I must say that Wilkin wasn't too fond of the fact that he was bumped off on the first attempt. Just lost his cool. One thing that Dave Rotherham has to get the message out, say, come on, field possession is vital.
St Helens muscling up in defence now because Hull are inside their territory with that man Thackeray once again.
You'd have to say that in another 2 or 3 minutes that John Keir will be taking Thackeray off. He's done virtually about everything in the forwards.
Horne gets the ball away to McMenemy. Oh, great flick pass from him. He finds Whiting, and Whiting keeps the movement going. It's picked up on the bounce by Tommy Saxton.
Just a little bit flat there. It's all right offloading, but you need someone coming on like an express train.
Now it's with Horne again. They're giving it with Cook to Briscoe. And Briscoe then gets the pass away to Yeaman. Briscoe infield, it's with Kearney. And Kearney to Horne, big hit by Anderson. Last tackle here for St Helens, for Hull. They are 10 metres short of the line. Cook trying to stab it through. Oh, it's bouncing for Jamie Lyon. Danger here. More danger, Albert. Oh, wonderful tackle from Gareth Rayner.
Superb play by the winger. You would have put the house on that, wouldn't you? That Albert would have raced away.
Wellens bounces out of the challenges on halfway, comes forward again. Jamie Lyon will play the ball, will pick up the ball at dummy half, and this now is Fozza.
He's a little bit forward as well. We keep going back to Paul Wellens. We know his quality. He was absolutely fantastic last year for Great Britain.
Look at this fellow as well. This fellow's quality is never in doubt.
But it's as though that, you know, he's got kryptonite all over him. You know, they can't get anywhere near him. It just amazes me.
Edmondson was at dummy half, it's Long and Hooper, and back the reverse pass to Gilmore, spinning, trying to get it away, does so to Long, and Long will stab the kick in, and that is picked up by Briscoe, and the counter will start. Well, it will for a second before Wellens brings him down.
Whole crowd didn't like that, the way they got to him, but that's good work from Rayner. It's always great to see that the wing is looking for work.
Steve, and that's one of the reasons why he has been included in the Great Britain squad. The ability to make good meters from close to your own try line in a dummy half run like Rayner did then is essential in international rugby league.
What a run from Thackeray! What an important tackle from Cunningham. It's a penalty.
Yeah. Actually, it could be rescinded, and it should be, because that was a professional foul. They were on the rack, Saints there. Look at that. Deliberately put him on the ground on the second occasion. That surprised me. Carl Kirkpatrick really doesn't handle much of that.
Well, we think we have found at last the alleged biting incident that St Helens complained about. Maybe this was it. Hooper's hand is there. And that was in the set of 6 immediately before St Helens made the complaint, so we believe that might be it. This is Ewan Dowes. Great run from Dowes. I must say, first look, those pictures were not conclusive.
No.
Brilliantly picked up by Horn, flicked out wide. They must be in. Brilliant try here from Whiting. Richard Whiting with the first try for Hull. And after all that St Helens pressure, it's Hull who've come up with the first score of the night. Richard Whiting with the try. One of the rising stars of Super League 10.
And what confidence. He threw the dummy, he could have offloaded out wide, decided to take the forward himself. It all came about from the silly penalty from Kieran Cunningham. No doubt about it, looking to stay on the field of play. Should have got 10 as far as I'm concerned. But this compressed defence, they came out of the line. Gilmore certainly took the gamble, and Whiting had all the confidence to throw the dummy. If you come out of the line like this, you're always going to get caught. Gilmore and Gardner, he knew he had the skill. What a start, what a game. This is nothing short of fantastic. It's been built up for the negative side of rugby league, and yet these players have come out here and they are giving us positive stuff. Lovely to watch.
Paul Cook then measuring this conversion, 30 goals so far this season. This for a 6-0 lead against St Helens. He got underneath it a bit and he has scuffed it wide of the uprights. Hull 4, St Helens 0.
There you see Gilmore comes right out of the line, and then as we move forward, you'll see that Gardner's done exactly the way. Look at that, 1-2 overlap. Didn't need it. Had the confidence. Boy, sit back and enjoy this.
Great try from Richard Whiting, 20 years of age. Let's hear from Paul Cullen.
How important was that tackle from Rayner on the previous play? Kick, not the best from Paul Cook. Hull took the wrong numbers. There were 4 defenders, only 3 attackers. Kick to the short side, and away went St Helens. It was a fantastic effort from Rayner that pulled St Helens back into it. But when they got down there, they had the numbers, and Thackeray's on fire. He's not been stopped in one collision tonight, apart from a knock-on.
So it's Hull who are in possession again here with Ewan Dowes. But Hull have a 4-point advantage. Kearney, they're trying to build on that right now. Edmondson, as I say, has come off the bench in this first half, the England A international. Yet to start a match this year. This now is McMenemy. Hooper is there close to him again, along with Wilkin. Now it's with Horn, who flicks the ball back to Dowes. Edmondson gets to him, and with Cunningham's help, Ewan Dowes is hauled to the ground. 12 months ago this very weekend, St Helens were winning the Challenge Cup, their 3rd Challenge Cup final in 4 years. Now St Helens are searching for their 4th coach in the Super League era. Ellery Hanley, Sean McRae and Ian Millwood, the men who have been in control during the summer years.
Well, this will be a big test now for the St Helens' attitude towards this game. They certainly started very, very well. They've got to make sure that they really get back into it. And that's good work again. Great to see the wingers getting involved, and this could be dangerous. What a hit!
That's a terrific tackle by Paul Cook on Sean Long.
You know, he's been one of the stars so far this season. He's been outstanding as Cook.
And yet he was omitted from the Great Britain squad for the Tri-Nations. Mind you, there is a long, long way to go yet as far as that selection is concerned.
It certainly is, and just because you're not in that squad doesn't mean to say that you're going to be out of it. You could make it if you play well enough for the rest of the season. Obviously, Brian Noble, he knows what quality, he knows that if there's somebody on form, he'll be included. But what a great lift, Phil Clark, in naming the squad early, and this is why we're getting the likes of Thackeray running himself into the ground.
I think it's fantastic, Stu. It provides competition for places at such an early stage in the season, and that has to squeeze the best out of these players. I think you talk about the best, that's perhaps one of the best 20 minutes that Hull have played this season. They've controlled possession very well, they've moved it around when they've had a chance to, and they've taken full advantage. Very good start from Hull FC.
Good kick down the line as well, and the chase is on here. Well, that ball though will bobble its way over the dead ball line. And Jamie Thackeray taking a deserved rest after fully 20 minutes out there on the field.
He's worked overtime, hasn't he?
How will they cope without him, because his presence has been outstanding out there on the field.
Well, to be fair, it was obviously a move by the coach John Keir. Go out there, give me 20 minutes. I thought he'd only last 15. The way that it was working.
Salford 0-0, sorry Steve-O. They're the other matches taking place at the same time as this one here. Good ball from Long to Sculthorpe, but he's hauled back again. Gareth Carvell, the man who has replaced Jamie Thackeray. Oh, and they've missed Lyon, and that's another brilliant pass from Lyon, and they've missed Albert, and Albert eventually is hauled to the deck. Last tackle. Here is Long. Crossfield kick. That's high and dangerous. Swirling around in the wind, but brilliantly taken. Blacklock. Now Blacklock has got some pace, and you can put the glasses down. This is a sensational try. Blacklock, he picked the ball out of the air, and he set off to the other end of the field, and there wasn't a St Helens man within feet of him. St Helens supporters sitting behind the posts, glum. Nathan Blacklock has got the Hull fans on their feet.
I often say there is doom and gloom in the Saints fans. When you have a kick into the corner, you must have a second line of defence, irrespective of how much pressure you're applying. If you're going to kick for the corner, you've got to make sure you've got someone back in case. Look at this. Where is everybody? You cannot afford to throw everyone in a straight line. This guy knows the way to the line. That is poor tactics by St Helens. And he just rubs it in, doesn't he? I'll take the four. They never even contested. There were three there. Not one of them jumped. Blacklock looked on in absolute amazement. He could not believe that not one out of the three players put any pressure or contested.
No problems this time with the conversion from Paul Cook, and Hull now have a 10-0 lead. Nathan Blacklock. He opened the scoring against the Bulls in the Cup last week. The 2001 Kangaroo Tourist. 8 tries for the season now.
Eddie, you asked me before the game what sort of reaction would we get from the Saints players. It's the reaction after conceding a try like that I'm most interested in. The body language and what the players were talking about behind the posts. Oh, well, what a response here now. They're going to get possession back. That gets them straight back into this game after a very disappointing try to concede.
Gareth Carvell, I think he was in two minds, you know. I think he was thinking maybe this was going to sail out on the full. He wasn't convinced, was he?
You know, I keep saying it's an amazing thing about our game is that the team scores a try and then they go to sleep for the kickoff. It happens so often.
Well,
that was high. They were looking to get away with that one.
That was Carvell again. Cunningham. to Bennett. Well, it's a response from St Helens we're looking for, and it's now a response in defence from Hull to that mistake by Carvel.
They've been pretty solid as well. John Keir, their coach, will be very pleased with this.
So far, it's with Long again. Here is Wellens. That's 4 tackles that they have withstood. Cunningham's there at dummy half. It's now with Paul Sculthorpe, who slips crucially. Last tackle here for St Helens. Cunningham to Long. It goes wide and dropped. And Hull have it back in the shape of Paul King.
Good tackle there from Richard Horne. Very, very harsh defence indeed. They're confident of the black and whites.
Mike, you mentioned Hull players going to sleep then at the end from that kick-off set. That kick was 55 metres. In these conditions, that's a massive piece of skill just to try and catch that ball. Sean Long knew what he was doing, and it was just too good for Carvel. The ball was at head height, and 55 metres came like a rocket. Takes an extra piece of skill to pick that up.
Certainly does if you're a forward as well, Paul. You're well aware of that.
Dropped 1 or 2 there, Mike. I did. I'm 55 metres. Don't go that far on my holidays. That's a big kick to catch.
I thought you'd just returned from a little scouting trip to Australia, but you're telling us it wasn't a holiday.
It certainly wasn't a holiday, and it was a little further than 55 metres.
How is the jet lag?
It's still in there.
It's all right when you travel first class, and I'm sure that you did. This is Fozzard.
Never mind first class. Are we going to get first class players coming over for Warrington next season?
Oh, I don't think you can answer questions like that.
Steady on, Mike.
This now is Kieran Cunningham. And he's great strength, hasn't he, Cunningham? Cook was all over him then. It took Kearney to come in and help out. Jamie Lyne, great ball to Wellens. And Wellens dumps it inside. And there's a chance gone begging. Paul Cook will pick it up for Hull again.
Certainly was. Where was the second line of defence? That's what they're saying. They offloaded. There was no one there. It was great work by Jamie Lyne. It's the second piece of brilliance that we've seen from him tonight. But this is where Hull are getting so much metres forward. Quick play of the ball. They're catching out St Helens a little bit slow in the first and second marker department.
Carvel is picked up by Lyon and helped out by Sculthorpe as he comes to grief. This now is Ewan Dowes. Hull get over the hole. That's dangerous. They cannot lift the feet. They cannot lift the legs.
I don't know why they do. I don't know why they even try. You know, you could see there that Bennett had made sure that that tackle was virtually completed. Just a brainstorm, that's all.
Hull ahead 10-0, coming up to 28 minutes on the watch. And here comes Carvel with the benefit of the penalty. They've made good ground forward, and they keep it going because that ball dumped back again. And the referee wants the second football removed from the field, which it now is. Kearney plays the ball, and here is Richard Horne. Good defence from St Helens. The run from Dowes. Richard Horne again fires it wide to McMenemy. McMenemy just pops the ball up. Saxton. They're so close to the line. Hull looking for another try, the third of this first half. And Horne dabs the kick in. Brilliantly picked up by Briscoe. He wants to take a look though. Carl Kirkpatrick, he hands it on to the video referee, checking the offside and checking the grounding. But Sean Briscoe's response is that he has scored.
He's onside, that there is little doubt. But why on earth did they allow him so much time to get that kicking? No one applied the pressure. This is try time. No doubt about that. This will be TRY on the video screen. Full control, no problems. Nice airborne shot too. They're running riot.
Sean Briscoe, young player of the year last year, and a try for Hull to increase their lead just before half-time. 14-0, kick to come.
and fully deserved. Tradesman-like performance. Not much luck for Dave Rotherham. They've had 3 occasions where they could have posted points, but look how long they took. They allowed Richard Horne all the time in the world. Look at this. Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? No. Cunningham tried to get to him. And Sean Briscoe out there tonight to prove a point that he still is Great Britain material.
Cook also not included in the Great Britain squad, as is the try scorer Sean Briscoe. Briscoe with the try, the England international, and it has made it 16-0 here at the KC Stadium to the men in black and white. This is Gareth Carvell. It's been a perfect first half. They have a penalty.
Stealing the ball. They've been so dominant of Hull, especially in the forwards. They've controlled the issue right down the middle of the park.
The St Helens supporters, not too many smiles there at the moment.
Eddie, I think it's been pretty even. The only difference is that both teams have visited their opponent's goal line 3 times. Hull have got across it on 3 occasions. And it's the small things, isn't it? Hull Saints haven't been able to capitalise on their field position, their chances they've had to score. But boy, they're dangerous enough. And as the game wears on, they've persisted to attack down the middle of the field. You can see they play the balls in their own half. Hull have had more possession inside their own half than St Helens. When they've been close to the opponent's line, they've managed to capitalise on it. And Saints, with that sort of field position and possession, they'll benefit in the second half.
And Hull have also had the benefit of 4 penalties to 1. That's a great offload from McMenemy, and it's a break here from Richard Horne. He's got Briscoe, who goes in for his second try.
It looked a little bit dodgy, but he's going to give it. That looked forward to me, but you make your own look in this game. Take nothing away from the wonderful ability of Richard Horne. John Keir is ecstatic, so is the fullback. 2 tries.
2 tries in 2 minutes.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But the way that Richard Horne sliced through, it was a beautiful offload. And a few of the St Helens fans are going for a cup of tea well before the half-time. Look at the offload here. No one at home, just stepping away, but this looked a bit dodgy. We know we go into the momentum rule, and maybe that's the reason he was in a good position, Carl Kirkpatrick.
Well, it's 20 points to 0. And this kick to come from under the sticks, it is now 22 points to 0. And they are replicating their first half performance against Bradford in the Cup last week, Hull. They've taken a stranglehold on this game.
Have they ever? Again, superb build-up. Look at the offload. Look at the step there. Looked a bit dodgy. He was in a very, very good position, Carl Kirkpatrick. But what a brace from this fella. 2 minutes, 2 tries.
Well, they've lost their last 3 visits to this KC Stadium, St Helens. Here come Hull again in the shape of Briscoe's now on a hat-trick. They lost 34-6 last July, 42-18 in August 2003, and 30 points to 6 in May 2003. So the last 3 visits have been one-way black and white traffic almost. So perhaps we shouldn't read too much into the fact that they're 22-0 down without Ian Millward.
Oh, it's not a matter of that. It's just that the way that Hull are playing. Let's give them credit. St Helens, they're trying their hardest. It's just the ability for Hull, the way that they're looking to offload, but most importantly, the difference between the 2 sides. When they twist and offload, there's a Hull player. St Helens have done it 3 or 4 times in this first half, and there's been no one there.
Looking for Blacklock wide. Instead of that, though, it is gobbled up by St Helens in the shape of Aidy Gardner, who did really well under pressure. Here is Wellens with work to do.
Eddie, the biggest problem for St Helens was in that last passage of play. Hull made 80 metres in 5 tackles, and that's got to be a worry for the side. They know they can score points, but they have to just stiffen up a bit in defence.
Great tackling round the play the ball there from young Danny Brough, and again wonderful work. They're really on fire at the moment. This is the last tackle, and St Helens in a bit of bother, but they are the team that can easily get out of it. And Darren Albert's high kick downfield doesn't go out on the full. Briscoe waited. It was a decent kick in the circumstances. Lyon scrags him to the ground. Here now, Gareth Rayner.
Bit of a desperation kick there from the centre, Jamie Lyon, but the positioning sense of Sean Briscoe. He's having a belter.
And they're also offloading the ball.
Mind you, remember this guy scoring 4 tries at Bradford
and not
winning the man of the match.
Oh, look at this, another great run from Danny Bruff. Oh, Wellens with an important tackle.
Certainly was, and good work by Sean Long. He put himself between the ball and the player. They've got overlap.
They have, but that's a good tackle. That was an important tackle by Darren Albert. This now is Cook, and Cook comes in field to Richard Horne. Little bobble for Ewan Dowes. He'll drive it forward. Last one here for Hull. Kick to the in goal. That was played. That will be 6 to go. It's all on. 6 to go.
Well, will they rub salt in and just go for the 1 point, really just to make an issue?
I don't think they're interested in that just now. They're looking for 4, and Briscoe was looking for the hat-trick.
He's lost
and
it.
knock on.
Well, he's certainly keen to come into that 3/4 line, isn't he? Reads the game ever so well. We praised him for the positional sense. Good defence from Anderson. Big hit.
Great defence. I think that's just kept them in the game. At 22, they've got a chance. If it went to 28, it was all over before half-time. And Paul Anderson will get a pat on his back from his teammates at half-time. He's given them a glimmer of hope.
Going the way of the form book elsewhere at the moment, although Salford fans would dispute that. They are 5th in the table at the moment against Bradford, and Leeds up against Lee. But here at the KC Stadium, Hull are ahead by 22 points to 0 against the team sitting 2nd in the table.
The one thing that Hull cannot afford to do is just relax. Okay, they can look at the scoreboard and see 22-0.
And now they have a penalty, St Helens.
We know that Saints have got the wonderful ability to strike back in the vital minutes of the first half and, of course, in the second half.
Yes, this is a big test of the Hull resolve coming up here, because St Helens, as Paul Cullen will tell you, they can score with only 1 second remaining.
Stand square.
I don't know whether I dare mention the 2 games that St Helens have played against Warrington this year to Paul.
Still very raw. Difference tonight is that Hull are winning collision every time they go forward. They're doing a St Helens to St Helens.
They're going to. Oh, now then there's another penalty there. McNicholas. St Helens won't be interested in the 2. They're going for Broke with Wilkin. Oh!
What on earth was that?
Touch judge.
Little wonder Dave Rotherham was wondering what on earth is going out there. Well, it's in as though he just passed it without looking. And welcome to the big time, Mr. Rotherham. Maybe he's finding out that Super League is pretty rough and tough on the nerves.
Well, I asked him how he would respond to various things during the course of the game, because of course Ian Millwood wore his heart on his sleeve every week, as you saw at the top of the programme here tonight, and he said, I'll just try and be myself. Well, as you say, welcome to the Super League, because this is a game that is high on emotion.
I don't know about listening to Dave Rotherham. You want to listen to Paul Wellens. He was apoplectic at the back of that play then. The tap set simply went wrong. He wanted a different field position, and Paul Wellens has been around the game long enough to know that he knows where the Saints should have gone then, and they simply made it up as they went along.
The kick downfield bounces for Aidy Gardner. The chase arrives. They have 2 minutes to hold out. Harlan keeps St Helens scoreless in this first half. It's Wilkin who's trying to make up there for the mistake. McMenemy with the tackle. Here now is Lee Gilmore. And he gets them to halfway, does Gilmore, after 3 tackles, halfway through this set of 6. They might get another set at the end of this first half, St Helens. Cunningham hands it on to Long. Good hands, this is Gilmore. And they go wide, they have the overlap. Hooper, he's hauled down. Combination there of Saxton and Richard Horne. Now with Long again. And just couldn't get the ball away. Yes, he did. And it's picked up brilliantly by Cunningham. And Cunningham is held 10 metres short on the last tackle. And that is Keith Mason. And here is Wellens. And the kick bounces off the whole man into touch. Did he make a play for it? Is it going to be Saints head and feed? It isn't.
No.
Oh, I think that maybe he made a play for this, the whole man. The leg was stuck out.
Well, it appeared
I think
that way.
Richard Horne made a play for that.
Seemed to just dig out there. The right leg, you're right, Eddie.
Or was he just falling? No, the leg went out.
Yeah.
Looking at the telly.
A little bit upset there.
I don't agree with Carl Kirkpatrick then. He said it's no good looking at the telly. It's every bit of good looking at the telly on a Friday night when the Super League's on the air. This is terrific stuff.
Well, I think he's referring to the big screen.
No. Last 30 seconds of the match in the first half. It's Hull who are in possession.
Nothing silly now from Hull. Just up the jumper. Quite happy. 22-0 at half-time. A lot of doubt in the minds of these Saints players.
Yes, they don't need to do anything fancy. They have just 5 seconds or so remaining. And they'll turn around with a very handsome lead. And they have made score of that by the ball that is rolled into touch. Well, what a first half for Hull. They lead, and John Keir will be delighted with the performance of his men again in the first 40 minutes for the second week in a row. And Dave Rotherham, he has got a very big speech to make for his first in the Super League as the acting head coach of this team of all talents called St Helens. But it's Hull who are ahead at half-time. They lead here. And it is Gardner who will run the ball back for the first tackle of this second half. And it's another thundering challenge that comes in from McMenemy and also from Richard Whiting. Well, can Hull capitalise on this, or will St Helens make one of their traditional comebacks?
Well, they've certainly got to score very early. They've got to get something out there that will lift their confidence. The body language at half-time we saw in the dressing room was not good, and this is the man that I feel that needs to really up the tempo, and that's Paul Sculthorpe. He really has to give a big captain's knock in the second half.
Well, it's not beyond St Helens if it is beyond a few clubs in Super League to make up a 22-point deficit. But that is a bad kick from long. It was sliced and it went out. It bounced on the line, I think, and went out on the full, therefore.
Pretty close. Yep. No
Spot
worries
on the
about
touch
that.
judge. He was a long way behind, but he's spot on.
Well, they got good eyes, these guys.
Give some credit to, was it Gareth Carvell who came at the left-hand side of Sean Long, just put him under that pressure, forced that kick probably a metre or two away from where Long wanted it, but just won possession in the opponent's half for Hull, and that's great play. You don't often compliment the guys who put the pressure on the kicker. It's a thankless job. It takes a lot of energy out of them, but it's an important one.
Hull then in possession again. And you get the feeling if they happen to score the first points of this second half with a try and a goal, that really will be it for Saints. But you never know. And this is Richard Horne again. Good hands. They're in, I think. They are not in.
Good sliding defence, it had to be as well. Wellens really shifting across, but wonderful hands from the whole three quarters.
Great defence. Terrific stuff from Hull. And are we seeing a turning point in the match here?
I think we might see the turning point in the season. They really have just, well, they've devoured everything that St Helens has thrown at them. It's going to be a test of their character. You mentioned that they've got the stars, they've got the ability, but have they got the comradeship? Have they got the nous to be able to say, come on, let's sort it out? And that won't help. The offload from Anderson, not good at all.
Kieran made it into a good pass and then flicked the ball away to Jamie Lyon and traditionally gets it out the back door to Albert, but Hull are very alert to that danger. And that was a good tackle from McNicholas. This is Paul Sculthorpe. Oh, he tried to get the pass
Play
away.
on. That should have been play on.
It is now, because Hull have it back with Saxton.
Hull don't need to have to panic, as Paul Sculthorpe has done there. Going to make sure that they just get themselves in a good position, slow this game down. They know that Saints will throw everything at them in the opening 10. Good field position, that's all that counts. They've shown in the first half that their defence can handle anything that Saints have. Just back to simple, basic principles of rugby league. Playing the opposition half.
But St Helens only need the sniff of something, don't they?
They certainly do, and silly passes like that, Saints have to do it. They have to force it. Hull don't.
Well, here they are with Richard Horne, now it's with McMenemy, and he gets the ball away, and this is Saxton again for Hull. Oh, he just lost it forward. The ferocity of the challenge.
And that will be upsetting for their coach, John Keane. I mentioned the fact that they're in that good position. All it needed was a little grubber kick into the in-goal area. Keep turning the tourniquet. Cut off the supply.
Hooper feeds the scrum, and this is Sculthorpe from the base of that scrum. Tracked all the way though by his opposite Richard Whiting. Anderson's the dummy half. Here is Bennett.
Maybe times like this where they're looking for something different, and you know, the likes of Eddie Gardner, Darren Albert, they come looking inside the field of play. That's play on, came off his feet.
It did. It was actually a knock-on, I think, by the Hull man. It was, because it is the tackle count being wiped down here by Carl Kirkpatrick as Mason, loses it on halfway.
He was trying to offload, got a little bit of a help by a Hull pair of arms. Look at that. McMenemy certainly went for the football, knocking down. There was two in possession. Things not going Saints' way.
Paul Cullen.
In at half-time, St Helens might need a little bit more from Paul Sculthorpe. St Helens needs some more from their front row going forward. They're not making the yards, they're not winning the collision, they're putting some really sloppy ball on the floor.
Oh, it's a great kick, this! It's going to come out for a try for Whiting! Richard Whiting, as Saints dallied, Whiting swooped for his second.
Well, the Saints players and the fans won't be too impressed. That really should have been a penalty the other way. There was a deliberate reef of the ball upfield, but take nothing away from this whole side. Once they get eager, and they have shown it yet again. Richard Whiting scored the first try in the first half. He's done exactly the same. This to me was a steal, a knockout by McMenemy from Mason. It was thrown away by the official Carl Kirkpatrick. But what about the kick? There were men there to defuse it. This guy is having a wonderful season. Paul Cook. He really is commanding the game. Not just with his passing, but little neat kick there, but it took. Beautiful run from Whiting. Boy, they're enjoying this here at the KC Stadium, and they've every right to be. This is champagne stuff.
Danny Brough now with the conversion attempt. Oh, it's a great kick from Brough. Right from the touchline. Third in a row for this young man as a sub, but he's featured in the last 8. And the former man from York has made it 28 points to 0 with that kick. And I don't think, after Whiting's try and Brough's goal, I don't think even St Helens can get out of this hole.
Well, they haven't really helped themselves. They had possession 3 times before that try, and on every occasion they turned it over to Hull inside their own half. They failed to get a good kick in, they failed to complete the set, and that really doesn't give yourself a chance in this game.
Only Leeds and Wigan have won here this year, and we are watching tonight 2 of the 3 best defences in the Super League on show. Hull conceded 46 tries prior to tonight. It's still like that. St Helens 41 prior to tonight. They have now conceded 4 in this match. Have they 5 in this match? So it's level pegging now in terms of tries conceded. But St Helens, they have scored 26 more than Hull prior to tonight. But we haven't seen too much of that glittering attack so far here. As McMenemy carves them up the middle again. Last tackle though for Hull. What will Richard Horne do? A dab to open space on that far side. Albert picks it up for St Helens. They need something special and something quickly, Saints.
They certainly do, but the way that Richard Horne and Paul Cook are controlling things out there, that was a super little dink over on a little halfback Richard Horne.
Noticing also, by the way, Steve, that Mickey Hyam is waiting on the sideline here, waiting to come on. Will he be the X factor for St Helens?
Well, he certainly has the pace, and that's what they've been lacking, and also the ability to take advantage. A couple of times, you know, Kieran Cunningham has made the half break, but the support has been pretty poor.
Long did really well to offload that ball then, and Wilkin turned it into something. This now is Sculthorpe, and he gets Saints over halfway. 32-4, Leeds are ahead. It's a good night for the league leaders, and Bradford are 26-0 up at Salford. Good night so far for the champions, because they will increase the lead if St Helens lose here and they go on to complete the win. And Blacklock, what a run, and Hyam with his first tackle.
Good job, it's fresh legs from Hyam. Blacklock was skipping away and linking into open space, but that's the ability of this side.
Great work from Tommy Saxton. Danny Brough with the run. Quick play the ball from Hull. And Saxton again, he's away from Wilkin. Wilkin on his return to this part of the world, the former Hull Kingston Rover. And I must say, he's not looking in great shape tonight. Not been his best performance in a St Helens jersey, John Wilkin.
He's not on his own though, Eddie.
No, there are a few that are a little bit lacklustre tonight.
They certainly are.
And that's Ewan Dow's last tackle. Crossfield kick. Brilliantly gobbled up though by Wellens.
Oh.
Well, he's on the top of his game.
Yeah, and you'd have to say, okay, Kieran Cunningham has departed the field of play, but at least the hooker and the fullback Paul Wellens, they've earned their stripes tonight. And I'm afraid for all the others, very little.
Gilmore, here's Wilkin again. Infield to Sculthorpe, wide it goes to Long. With skips inside one would be challenger. Finds Sculthorpe again.
They seem to be losing their shape, St Helens. Nobody seems to be taking control out there. It's completely the opposite. We've already mentioned Richard Hall and Paul Cook. They are just controlling this match.
There's no go forward, Mike. That's what the problem is. There's a lot of quality in the St Helens side. There's nothing wrong with the fitness. There's nothing wrong with the quality. The focus isn't there, and the go forward is non-existent.
Well, there might be something on here, because Gardner... Oh, how's that from Blacklock? And he flicks it inside to Briscoe, and here come Hull on the counter. I don't think they're going to be denied tonight somehow.
No way. No way. They've got it in their minds. That's going to be a penalty.
Oh, he didn't hear the call. He did not hear the call, Gareth Rayner. Looked at the referee, and the referee had shouted that the tackle was completed.
Yeah, as soon as the ball carrying arm hits a deck and you stop the momentum, just had a little sly look. Could this be the change in the game? It's something like that normally just does that, but at 28-0 you'd say no, there's no chance. But you can't say that about Saints.
No, this is St Helens, and Thackeray, by the way, has returned for Hull, or will be in a moment. He's prowling the touchline, waiting. The referee shouts, that's the third tackle. Here is Long. Long gets the ball away to Wilkin. Oh, and the pass was a little wild, but Gardner turned it into something.
Tremendous take by the winger Gardner. Oh, that was right on his toes.
Mickey Hyam. Mickey Hyam! Hull having to muscle up in defence. He just manages to hang on to the ball. This now is Mason. He finds Long again, and Long to Sculthorpe. And wide it goes, but it is not St Helens' night. It is not Dave Rotherham's night.
Shocking pass. He's just not at the races, I'm afraid. Paul Sculthorpe, the skipper, trying his hardest, but that is not quality. And that just about says it all. Maybe whistling around in the brain box, he might be saying, get another coach quickly, please.
Thackeray waits to come on. I think Dave Rotherham would want to be given a little longer than 52.5 minutes, I think.
I think he might want to press fast forward though and get to the next game, Eddie, now. Because the way his team are playing, it's not the clock that's the problem or the scoreboard, it's the performance of the side at the moment. Hull did really well. They denied St Helens an opportunity to attack their line for over 11 minutes in the second half, so they really saw off any challenge or threat that Saints might throw back with that enthusiasm after a break in the dressing rooms, and all of a sudden they tried to Hull, and that patient game that Richard Hall's prepared to play with his teammates makes this a very, very uphill, if not impossible task now for the Saints.
Phil mentioning that would be fast forward on the video button for Dave Rotherham if he could. The next match for St Helens is away at Widnes next Saturday, the 21st at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, and we are actually seeing a lot of St Helens over the next month or so. Leeds the following week, for instance. So we are going to be having a close look at this new look St Helens team.
What about that? The penalty, the kick for touch went back. Sheer lack of understanding. They've got to really start working hard for each other. This is very disappointing if you're a Saints fan.
Wellens, hang on, Wellens. Great ball to Albert. Here is Jamie Lyon. They have the quality out there. The pass though was poor again from Lyon, and it went backwards off Richard Whiting.
Well, there didn't seem to be any support there. Lyons made the half break and then virtually decided to just get it. That's the kick in a touch. Went back 5 metres.
Rayner, good bustling run. Well, we have said many times on this programme, players win matches, coaches lose them. Paul Cullen, that's a shocker to hand you, I know, but Ian Millward, I go back to him all the time. Is his presence here tonight, is it conspiring against Saints?
Jack Gibson an awful long while ago. Winning starts on Monday. What has St Helens been doing all week? The focus simply is not there. You don't have to be off the pace by much in Super League at this pace and at this quality to get turned over. And their mind has not been on this game all week. It can't have been, and it shows tonight.
Lyon is waiting at dummy half for Saints. They're in a hole, they're trying all they can to get out of it. It has not been the start that Dave Rotherham would have prayed for last night. Not so far. Mickey Hyam on the break. Support is there from Murray Fassavalu. And St Helens maybe are on their way back. Mickey Hyam broke them up the middle. And the former Samoan Rugby Union international, Murray Fassavalu, he appeared from nowhere and he's over under the sticks. Saints have a little hope.
It was a masterstroke by Dave Rotherham to throw this fella on. Kieran Cunningham, he was getting very tired indeed. And it was the fresh legs from both the guys. Hyam first, Fassavalu, what a beautiful try. Boy, they needed it. That was clever work, wasn't it? See how he showed the dummy back on the inside. Bang. Now then, he's happy. He enjoyed it with some sort of war dance.
And long adds the extras from in front. So 28 points to 6. Murray Fassavalu, substitute, 6 of the last 7. Last start against the Bulls last September, but his first try of the season here, and not a bad celebration. Well, will he be
Steve-O in a nightclub. We've seen Steve-O doing that in a nightclub.
Well, I thought it was more knees up Mother Brown, if you must know, but fair credit to them. You know, we've been criticising the Saints for quite so long in regards to their defence. They didn't have the ability to work as a unit, work as a team. As Paul Cullen has mentioned, you know, there's no go forward from the forwards, but you know, you can't deny the fact that they've got quality out there.
All they needed maybe was just a sniff, but Anderson being forced back by Kearney and McMenemy. Here's Cunningham again.
It's important also for Hull, and I'm sure that John Keir will get the message out. We are not closing this game down. There's still plenty of time.
Well, remember Bradford in the Cup last week. It was just a 2-point win in the end. And Bradford came back at them and back at them and back at them. And Brian Noble said had the game gone on 5 minutes, he believed they would have won it. And here comes Saints again. Oh,
tried to offload.
How many times has that sort of thing come off in the past?
Yep. On the break. And for the second occasion, the support was good, but they couldn't finish it off. It would have been a forward anyway, I feel. But this man has given his heart and soul to the Saints side. He really has worked his socks off.
Check the clock, 22 minutes left, 22 points adrift. They've got to go a point a minute. I don't even think the Saints can come back from there. 22 minutes, 22 points. Surely they can't come back from this.
Paul, we were saying exactly the same thing at a ground not too far from your heart about 2 months ago. Surely they can't come back from this. And we also, of course, gave Warrington the match at Knowsley Road a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. But hey, you never say never when this mob are around. Last tackle here, they've weathered this, have they, this set of 6? Or is there something here? As the ball is kicked out wide and is gobbled up by Lee Gilmore. Saxton couldn't get it in. That's not bad actually for Hull. The kick was poor, but they've made good ground back towards the St Helens line there.
And the thing is, it came from Paul King. No one was in a very good position to try to get that ball offloaded.
Champions rampant at Lee. Bradford rampant at Salford.
Well, Cunningham is screaming for the penalty, and he certainly wasn't standing square. They cannot afford to go into the shell hole. Make sure that defence is solid, don't panic.
And here's Sculthorpe, being allowed to run, gets the ball away to Jamie Lyon, been quiet tonight, Lyon. Hull have seen to that, to be fair. Sculthorpe, long again, this is the last. Oh! Well, he was going to shape to kick, and in the end he just threw the ball forward.
It must be eating up inside of all these Saints players. Just lost total control of it. As you say, Eddie, how many times have we seen over the years that St Helens, everything they do, it just seems to stick.
Quarter of the match remaining, 22 points the gap. Thackeray is on again, as we say, for Hull. Anderson lifted the legs a little dangerously there. Thackeray looks at him and looks at the referee. No penalty. This is McMenemy. Oh, strength from McMenemy. What a pass! Richard Horn delays it to Blacklock. Important tackle by Jamie Lyon. Briscoe.
Oh, look at the overlap.
They're in, are they? I'd love to touch forward. McMenemy thinks he scored. He has. Shane McMenemy. They were there in numbers. The final pass was questionable, but McMenemy did not hang around to debate it.
Again, this defence is completely bamboozled. What a beautiful offload. They came back in numbers, but look at the outside three quarters. They've come up to the post. Look at the gap out wide. They didn't need it in the end. King says, let's get it. McMenemy, easy, 4 points. Sculthorpe screaming at the official. He thought it was a little bit forward. It looked a bit dodgy on that point. But this game's over. End of story. Yeah, that looked forward. Little doubt that Paul Sculthorpe was disappointed with the official referee, but don't blame the referee. Look at your own teammates. This has not been a convincing performance by the Saints, and they know it. And I will be very disappointed if they do use this as some sort of excuse, saying, well, at least we didn't have our major coach there. They've got to face up to and look in the mirror on this one.
Paul Cook back again to kick the goal from bang in front, and they're over the 30-point mark now. 34 points to 6.
I mean, there is a hugging of international experience out there in this Saints outfit, and that's what it means to these Saints supporters.
They've travelled a long way across country to be here tonight, and well, it is not the performance that they came looking for.
Disappointing, it. That's all you can say.
Blacklock collects the shorter kick-off from Sculthorpe. Cunningham with a big challenge there. This is Thackeray.
You know, they're talking about a 40-hour week, aren't they? 48-hour week. We haven't had 48 minutes from Saints tonight.
This is Stephen Kearney to the halfway line.
Look at the space. They're gone. They're gone as Saints. The legs, the mind, the body. and Ryan. They can do what they want. Look at that, they're not moving up, they're hanging around.
And everything that Hull are trying is coming up for them. Not on that occasion. McNicholas's pass went forward, picked up by Darren Albert.
Fair to Albert, he's tried, not got many opportunities.
Here goes Fasavalu again. Hyam, Sculthorpe, Thackeray with the initial challenge, helped out by Paul Cook.
There's been some great performances from this whole outfit, but I must say, I think this game was won in the 20 minutes, in the first 20 minutes, when Jamie Thackeray just absolutely blitzed him. He moved out there and he said, I am going to make an impact. It has lifted the side.
This is long, fed by Hyam. It's the last one for St Helens. Hyam again. A dab to the corner, and it's too strong. Touch and goal.
Well, he's trying. This for sure is the substitute Mickey Hyam. Rotherham not too impressed. It surprised me, you know, that I don't know about you, Phil Clark, but it surprised me they didn't put Mickey Hyam on midway through that first half, and it looked as though they were unsettled. They needed something different.
They did, yes. I think they needed one or two things. You could point out the fact they've missed too many tackles. You could point out the fact that they've dropped possession and thrown the ball away and lost possession on the first tackle at times. But I think the biggest problem for me from St Helens has been their inability to kick the ball accurately. They've applied no pressure to their opponents with any kicks in this second half at all when they've had a chance to get back into it. Conceded another penalty here, but really, I don't think I've ever watched them play and kick the ball as badly as they have done here tonight.
And this is a bit of indiscipline here because Thackeray was making yards. And it's probably a grapple tackle, but he's got a bit of a bloody nose as well, Jamie Thackeray.
Oh, I got that very early in the piece. Not surprising.
He's had an immense influence on this match, though, Jamie Thackeray, though he hasn't been on for much of it in the first half particularly.
He was like a JCB. He really just moved forward and ripped them apart.
Here come Hull again, that's Blacklock, and wide it goes to Briscoe, who's looking for the hat-trick. 34-6 it is, just less than a quarter of an hour to go. And Horn with an outrageous dummy, with a great, great try. Richard Horn just stretched the arm out and plonked the ball over the line. It's Hull's night now. There is no comeback for Saints, not tonight. Not even with the old maestro there himself. Not even Ian Millwood could conjure up a comeback from this.
Not even Mandrake the magician. This is the penalty from Sculthorpe. No doubt about it. Thackeray gets the penalty, and from this position, look at that. That is very poor defence. I mentioned earlier that they were so tired, they were hanging back. They're not making movement. It's oh so easy. What a night for this fella. He's been creating throughout the evening and gets the spoils with a TRY for himself. Hasn't he come on a bundle every single season since he made his debut? This guy is going from strength to strength, and so is this fella. He has been my man of the season so far, this bloke.
He's added 2 more points, and they have struck 40. 40 points to 6. Well, we've seen that Leeds are winning by over 40, Bradford winning by over 40, and now Hull have registered 40, and Richard Horn, sorely missed in last year's Tri-Nations, in the squad for Great Britain this year. And Hull, under the guidance of John Keir, on their way to a famous victory against St Helens. And remember, Keir guided Sheffield to their 1998 Cup win against Wigan. They're eyeing a first Challenge Cup final for Hull since 1985 in this part of the world. They are eyeing a place in the Super League Grand Final for the first time ever come October.
If they can play like this all through the season, they will be very difficult to beat. Never mind just at home at the KC Stadium, but away as well. This has been a very polished performance. They've all worked hard for each other.
It's a great night for young Danny Washbrook to come on for his Super League debut, which he has done. That kick from Paul King was straight down the throat of Aidy Gardner, and he bounces away from a couple of challenges, but has to take the tackle in the end from Richard Horne. This is Wellens.
Well, it's still too cold for a swarm of flies, but we've seen it tonight.
Oh, Nick Fossard with a mistake. 54-4 leads, 10 to go. 44-0 Bradford, 10 to go. Here, just 11 to go and 40 points to 6 in Hull's favour, and a mistake from Fossard, and maybe more on the way for the men in black and white.
Well, it's 11 minutes of sheer agony, I'm sure, for Dave Rotherham. And no doubt the St Helens board won't be too impressed with this. They would have expected a more positive response.
Well, you normally change the coach when there are problems on the field. There were no problems on the field. Here come Hull. There are no problems on the field for them tonight.
Plenty for Saints, though.
McMenemy. And Fossard just entangled with McMenemy. Horne to Cook. The flicked pass is gobbled up by Kearney, and Stephen Kearney gets the ball away. It was almost another try for Richard Horne. King, they go wide, they're in this time. It's another, and it's come to Paul McNicholas, and John Keir just nods and raises an eyebrow. And this has been a performance and a half from Hull, and their supporters taunt the St Helens players and supporters with chants of easy, easy.
And it is. The ability to keep the ball alive has been outstanding. And when you do that against a very tired, ineffective defence, you're always going to come up with a TRY. There's no shape in this Saints defence. It went a long, long time ago. It's not a case of them just capitulating late in the game. It started to rot very early in this match. And that's what it means to these people who have come all the way over the M62. Sheer disappointment. I'm sure there's going to be more backlash from those fans. They'll have plenty to say, I am sure. They will be finger pointing. The blame will be spread around, you name it. But I think the players that have come out in blue tonight, representing St Helens, they've got a lot to answer for. They have not given their best.
Hull have, but Cook strikes the upright. 44 points to 6. Well, a comprehensive win. They have much preferred the Boulevard, St Helens, in recent past. They won 5 of 6 visits there between 1998 and 2002, but they have yet to win on this ground. And that is a record that will continue for another 12 months. Hull have got
What a great
7.5 minutes to enjoy the party.
That was wonderful, wasn't it? Everything was fair and above board. Kieran Cunningham went straight into Thackeray with a huge shoulder. Unbelievable.
And didn't win collision, Mike, and that's been the story of the game. Jamie Thackeray, you know, for what it's worth, my man of the match by a country mile. Absolutely outstanding. And from those first carries in the opening sets, he has leathered St Helens. They have not got a finger on him all night, and that set the standard. Problems all week for Saints, but whatever happens in the background, they cannot handle Thackeray.
That's a great kick as well, which finds touch the right side of the corner post. Paul Cook is a contender as well, I'm sure, for man of the match, but the people who have the final say are the gentlemen of the British press, and their spokesman is Dave Hadfield.
It would be a shame if this just went down as a substandard Saints performance, because we've been really outstanding displays from Hull players. We've been very impressed with a couple of forwards. Jamie Thackeray, as Paul said, he's been great in both his spells. Shane McManamy throughout. But we've gone for the fellas with at the heart of so much that Hull have done. Not for the first time, I might say, Richard Horne.
Richard Horne wins the man of the match. He has been influential as well. There he is. He is our guest, by the way, on Boots. Was our guest on Boots and All last Wednesday.
I think his game has improved so much that his creativity is so solid now. He's good on defence. A lot of people thought perhaps when he came into the big time.
Problem here for Mark Edmondson.
Woodson in a lot of pain there.
Oh, they've not found touch with the penalty, St Helens. It's going from bad to worse.
Well, that's shocking. Surely they stop the game.
By the way, I got mixed up, Steve-O, with the Richards, because Richard Horne was the guest on Boots and All last week. Richard Lewis, the executive chairman of the Rugby Football League, will be our guest on Boots and All this Wednesday night. There's a big meeting of the Super League clubs on Wednesday, and he will be with us live to discuss that Boots and All Wednesday night.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure you are. Kieran Cunningham has picked up a loose pass there. Briscoe with the tackle. Here is Long. St Helens coming forward, looking for something. Ball stolen. 2 in 1 in the tackle.
2 in.
Well, it looked as though Carvel thought he was on his own, but just had one of his teammates sort of just latch on in the end. Well, it'd be mere consolation. I suppose in many ways John Key will be saying it's just as important now to make sure that Saints don't get over the whitewash. It's a different game. He knows he's got the vital 2 points.
Mark Edmondson, by the way, word is it's a wrist injury that he's picked up out there. Here is Sculthorpe. Now a chance here for Wilkin. They don't want them to score, do they?
Should have been a penalty. Cook was all over him. Maybe he's playing the advantage, Kirkpatrick.
It's Anderson. Oh, risky pass that found its way. Oh, almost found its way to Blacklock. Gilmore loses it, doesn't score.
Knock on. He's got to the screen.
Just check out that.
But I think he's lost it.
Whether it was stolen.
He just wants to check how the ball came out, whether it was stolen or not.
Well, I think Blacklock definitely gets a finger to it. There, ripped off. Then it goes backwards, so...
Doesn't he need to find out how to restart the match if it's come off Blacklock?
Yes,
is it a dropout?
Or is it a penalty try?
Well, it can't be that. He's one-on-one, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no one else there, you're right. So he's going backwards, so this will be the dropout.
We're just looking how to restart this match.
Yeah. Dropout from underneath the sticks, surely.
Or was it a knock-on by Gilmore?
I don't think so. I think you'll find that he's still got control of the ball, and then it's ripped away. Pretty hard. At 44-6, who cares?
It's no try, we know that. No try, it is a goal line dropout. It was knocked out by the Hull man. Gilmore appealed to the referee. And he did well there, Carl Kirkpatrick, asking for assistance from the video referee to decide how to restart the match.
He's had a big game, you know, Kirkpatrick.
Well, we've not mentioned him.
That's why he's had a big game.
Yeah.
Still, we've got time.
I said that there was no pressure on him right at the start, if you may remember.
But he's let the game flow.
This is Wilkin again. Mickey Hyam is there, the dummy half. He finds Sean Long. Oh, that's another penalty.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it eats the clock up. He's worked hard. Just came at the final moment.
St Helens looking to send the fans home with something to think about. Hooper. 3 minutes remaining. Cunningham, characteristically, but this time forced back, held up. So the ball will be brought back 10 metres and the tackle count will continue. It's with Sculthorpe. Now Fozzard. Back to Sculthorpe again. Knock on. Cook carries it on for Hull. They're looking to get to the half-century.
And I think they will. I really do think they will, because this Saints side are struggling to get back into any form of defensive line.
Thackeray.
Boy, he's been brilliant.
King's had a good game as well. They all have in black and white, to be fair. They've played really well as a unit.
Solid in the defence, solid in the pack, doing their work, sharing the ability to make sure that no one gets tired late in this game. They're loving this. I am nearly pinched that. And that's good refereeing again. It was just a mix-up. Now then, let's go for a solo from Richard Horne.
So high, kick wide. Gardner claimed it well. And Whiting was hunting the mistake. And young Danny Washbrook there, what a night for him to make his debut. Demanded his chance, said John Keir.
You've got to feel sorry for this guy playing the football, Paul Wellens, alongside Kieran Cunningham, and a few glimpses from the substitute Mickey Hyam. About the only high spots that you can pick in the St Helens side.
Sculthorpe's tried hard as well. The captain tried to lift the men from time to time.
I bet Paul Cullen wonders why they never play like this when they play against the Warrington Wolves.
Oh, nearly an interception then. Here's Cunningham again. Yes, you seem to catch them red hot, Paul, don't you?
We do, to be fair. We never seem to catch them when their front row gets turned over or doesn't turn up like they haven't done tonight.
Well, you're getting closer. Chip over the top from long. 60 for Leeds Atlee. And 58 for Bradford, who have kept Salford within 2 minutes of the end without a point. That's a big win for the Bulls. Full time now, I'm told, at the Willows, and it is 58-0. And Salford were fifth in the table. Here they are counting down to a victory that keeps Hull in the hunt for top or second. 44-6. A great night for John Keir, who is delighted. First time really he smiled tonight. The victory's in the bag, and they are on the heels and in pursuit of St Helens. For the Saints, well, the inquests will continue, there is no doubt about that. The headlines will continue to be written, there is no doubt about that. Long way to go in the season, of course, but tonight they looked a team, a shadow of their former selves. Their forwards like Nick Fozzard, Paul Anderson, Keith Mason when he came on, Mark Edmondson just didn't get going. A terrific display from Hull. The men from East Yorkshire have won 44-6. He produced the performance that won him the Tissot Watchers Man of the Match. We're going to hear from his coach John Keir, but first it is the Man of the Match Richard Horne with Bill.
Richard, a night when just about everything stuck, didn't it?
It did. It was just one of them days where little passes, little kicks and everything just came off really well for us. I think with last week we thought we knew we had to back it up, and with a good performance. Saints were coming here with a lot going on off the field, and maybe it did come onto the field with how it went today, but like I say, all round our forwards dominated theirs. Like I say, our execution of plays was really good, and we're just in good form at the moment.
Sure are. Well done on a man-of-match performance.
Thank you. Thanks to you so as well. Cheers.
Well, the coach John Keir must be a pretty happy man. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No, it doesn't. As a performance, that was very, very special indeed. And St Helens are a very good team, and I know they've had the problems, but those players came in, they came to play. But our fellas really stood up tonight, and I thought it was an exceptional 80 minutes of rugby league.
And it says something about Hull's intentions for the remainder of the season, maybe?
Yeah, we thought that the next 3 games ago we had Salford with Bradford and with St Helens at home, and we felt that that was a sort of we can make a statement about our season with those 3 games, and they certainly have done, and they're enjoying themselves at the minute.
I'm sure they are. No wonder he's smiling, John Keir, because